One of the biggest new names in the crypto space is American Bitcoin, backed by Eric Trump, Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization, and Hut 8 CEO Asher Ganoot. The business aims to make the U.S. a crypto mining superpower. Hut 8 specifically is also looking to capitalize on the intense energy use needed to power AI data centers. I have been really looking forward to this chat and invest all day long. I'm here with both Eric Trump, co-founder and chief strategy officer of American Bitcoin, and Asher Ganoot, executive chairman, to talk about the business behind Bitcoin and where this is all going. Good to see both of you, gents. Eric, coming right to you out of the gate here. You are the ultimate hard investment guy, building world-class properties, golf courses around the world. Explain to us where does the passion come for Bitcoin?
Well, listen, it's the greatest hedge against hard assets. I really believe that with every aspect of my heart and soul, right? I mean, it's immediately liquid, it's global, it's transferable. You can transfer it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, instantaneously, hardly any fees. You can't do that with hotels. You can't do that with real estate. So I think it's the greatest hedge against what I do every single day, which is kind of the hard asset world. You know, I think it's also a great hedge against inflation. It's a great hedge against corruption. It's a great hedge against, poorly managed monetary systems around the world. And I think that's why you see this global influx to Bitcoin. I think it's become probably the greatest asset of our time. You see roughly 70% appreciation on average year over the last decade. Name an asset that's had that kind of appreciation. You just won't, find it, Brian. So, and frankly, a lot of this for me personally, because we have a little bit of a political hat in my family, as you know better than anybody, comes out of getting canceled by banks over and over and over for doing absolutely nothing wrong. And I think cryptocurrency is going to be the future of finance. And I think blockchain solves a lot of kind of the weaponization of the banking industry that's affected so many, not only in this country, but around the world. And so I'm deeply passionate about it. American Bitcoin is going to do it better than anyone. I mean, we started the company just under 8 months ago. We're the 25th largest Bitcoin accumulator in the country right now, public at least, and we're climbing that ladder very, very quickly. So unbelievable things to come, and I'm incredibly proud of Asher and everything that we've created on this end.
Strong start for American Bitcoin, Eric. What's next for this company over the next 12 months? What is your product roadmap? And then even along the same lines, how in the world do you mine Bitcoin so cheaply?
We mine Bitcoin so cheaply because we've got cheap energy. And by the way, isn't it nice to be able to do that in the United States of America, where we actually have favorable energy policy? We haven't had that for a very long time. You see it with oil and gas and everything else coming down to record lows right now. It's a beautiful thing to see. America has to lead the way. Energy cost is everything. Energy cost is directly correlated with GDP. The lower the energy you have, the higher your GDP, and that's what we want for this country. So we're doing it in West Texas using some of the lowest energy costs. Brian, we're mining Bitcoin for roughly 50 cents on the dollar to the average, to the spot price of BTC. Every single day, 24 hours a day, we're mining Bitcoin and we're adding it. And we believe this asset's going to be transformational. Listen, a little while ago, I looked at the exact price of Bitcoin 2 years ago from today. You know what it was? It was 36,500, and now it's sitting at 105, 104, bouncing around. It was up past 120. A month ago. Bitcoin has been one of the greatest assets of our time, and even now, as you see volatility, which you always see in cryptocurrency, because naturally a slightly higher vol, we're still 170, 180, 190% higher than we were at this exact date 2 years ago. And I think that speaks to the fact that everybody around the world wants it. Every Fortune 500 company is putting it on their balance sheet. Every family office is buying more and more. People are hoarding it. And this isn't just in the United States. This is all around the world. It's an incredibly exciting asset class, and I believe in Bitcoin with every aspect of my heart and soul.
Eric, you know everybody in this industry, of course. Earlier on, we kicked off our conference with Michael Saylor, a.k.a. the Bitcoin King. He really made a strong case that more companies need to have Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Do you have Bitcoin on the balance sheet of the Trump Organization? And if not, why not?
We have a ton of it on the balance sheet. I'm incredibly proud of that. I've got a ton of it on my own personal balance sheet, and and obviously I'm going all in terms of American Bitcoin. I mean, we're setting up the greatest Bitcoin company in America, listed on the NASDAQ, ABTC, using Hut 8's infrastructure. Asher is one of the best people in energy anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. And we're mining it, as I said before, for roughly 50 cents on the dollar. There is no one doing it that's better than us. There's no one that's doing it with more passion than us. There's no one who's doing it quicker than us. Listen, we've been listed for under 3 months at this point, and every single day it seems like we're passing another company, and these are major companies that you know about. And so we're climbing that ladder very, very quickly, and again, our success thus far is beyond incredible.
Asher, let me get you into this conversation. Just before we came on, we had Mark Palmer really make a strong, bullish case for your company and what you're doing. For those not familiar, where is your infrastructure situated? And then day to day, what do your operations do?
We run sites all across North America. We have sites in Texas, we have sites in New York, we have sites across Alberta and across all of North America. Our sites are split up in power generation, so we own power plants, and also data center capacities. Data centers that power Bitcoin and the network that everyone relies on in order to securitize Bitcoin, the asset, and then also sites that we're building data centers for that are powering AI use cases as well. We're a believer at Hut that energy is the fuel that powers all future technologies, and we want to be in the center of technology and power.
Asher, you're building a pretty substantial site, I believe, in Louisiana. Do you have a tenant for that yet?
We have not announced the tenant for that yet, but as everyone knows, power is extremely scarce right now. It's a really large campus in Louisiana with near-term power. And so we'll share more about who's going to go there in short order, but we've already started moving ground, construction on the site, and building a lot of the electrical infrastructure.
Meta's nearby, Asher. Is it Meta? I have to ask.
We haven't shared who it is, and we will soon.
Fair enough. Look through, seen through your prism. We've been talking all day long about an AI bubble. Is that talk ridiculous?
I think in any large-scale wave and systematic shift, you're going to see building. And I think people are saying, how much money is going into this infrastructure? Our belief is AI is going to fundamentally change the way that we operate in the world, the way that normal people transact, how they transport themselves from location to location, how they work in the workplace, at home. And so we think AI is just at its beginning innings of its impact on the world and on society. And in order for that impact to happen, we need to build data centers to power that compute. And so the question is, are there too many data centers being built? Are there use cases already happening? People need to invest today for where the future is going. And so we think we're still at the beginning of that investment cycle and that integration into what AI is actually going to do for the average person.
Are there too many data centers being built?
We have not enough data centers being built. We need more power generation in the US, we need more transmission, and we need more data center capacity.
Eric, let me get back to you here. How do you see crypto changing the future of the financial services industry?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to onboard trillions of dollars into the U.S., right? That's happening every single day. No country wants their own home currency other than obviously the U.S. dollar. No one wants a euro. No one wants the pound. No one wants any of the Asian currencies. Guess what they want? They want the U.S. dollar, and so you have stable coins every day that are bringing trillions of dollars every year. That's bringing trillions of dollars onto American shores. You're going to see more and more of that happening. Second of all, the speed of finance is going to go up. There's not going to be waiting, 36 hours, 48 hours over the course of a weekend to be able to send out a wire transfer. That's going to become instantaneous. Fees are going to go down. Convenience is going to go massively up. So much of the blockchain technology is going to tokenize assets. We're seeing that every day. In fact, some of our buildings are being tokenized for the first time. And I think you're going to have this major shift to Bitcoin as truly the digital gold. I mean, I think you're seeing more and more money that will ultimately come out of gold, and you're going to see that ratio disproportionately shift into Bitcoin because it's been the single greatest asset that we've seen, and it solves a lot of the problems that physical gold has, including weight and transferability and so many other things, right? The ability to monetize, speed of monetization, and so again, you're going to see crypto literally change every aspect of our financial system, and it couldn't come quickly enough. I think we're wholly behind. The banks have been antiquated for too long. The banks have frankly been the monopolies that actually have been a disservice to ordinary people who don't have maybe the Trump last name and don't have a lot of zeros on their balance sheet, who get zero advantage and have been put at actually a massive disadvantage. And there's no question that every single day you see another widget popping up on your Amazon cart being able to transact in either Bitcoin or stablecoin. Crypto is here to stay. Crypto is the future of finance. And American Bitcoin, in terms of what we're doing, being able to mine it cheaper than virtually anyone, we are going to lead the way. We are going to lead the way, and America is going to lead the way, which makes me incredibly happy as a person who loves that flag right behind my shoulder.
Eric, the crypto industry it's still volatile, and look, we're right in the middle of the latest sell-off in Bitcoin. What do you think about this sell-off, and what do you tell your investors and contacts when prices do come off the highs like this?
I laugh. Honestly, Brian, I literally laugh because it's almost like not a serious question. Again, back to what I said before. Bitcoin exactly 2 years ago today was at 36,500. And what are we sitting at? 102, 103, 105. We're dancing in that region. It's up to, we were at, well over 120. So you had almost a 200% return in a 2-year period of time. And then people talk about the volatility of Bitcoin. Hey, I'll take that volatility. Give me more volatility if I can get more return. And I think that's how crypto people are wired. And if you can't handle volatility, stay out of cryptocurrency and don't bother. But go into treasuries where you're going to have zero volatility, and you're going to click away at 3% returns. Go have a great time doing that, and I'll see you in 10 years. Embrace volatility. Embrace the future. It's clearly happening. It's not just happening in the United States. It's happening globally, everywhere. I mean, I just spoke at a conference in Hong Kong. We had 25,000 people there watching Asher and I. It's happening all over the earth, right? I mean, this is here to stay, and I'll take 200% returns in effectively a 2-year period of time, anytime, and have to deal with a little volatility. Sign me up. That sounds like the greatest investment you could ever have.
Eric, when we talked, I believe maybe more than a month ago at Trump Tower, what I didn't appreciate was how fast sovereign wealth funds are moving into crypto. From your vantage point, what are they doing, and what are the actions they will likely take next year?
Yeah. Well, listen, I think they look around the world and they see, how unfair some of these countries are to their individuals. Look how many bad currencies you have out there. Look how many corrupt governments you have out there. Look at how many antiquated banking systems you have out there. It's almost developing countries almost need crypto more than the United States does, as crazy as that sounds, because it kind of cures all the problems that they have based on the fact that they don't have kind of modern financial systems. And so sovereign wealth funds are seeing that, and they're buying into it. I mean, I've had people who run major sovereign wealth funds tell me that they're taking, and most of them are governments, they're taking all the energy from certain cities in the middle of winter when they don't need to use it to cool their office buildings, commercial buildings, and using that to mine Bitcoin, right? And putting unthinkable amounts of money into cryptocurrencies. People understand that this is the future of finance, and they are embracingly wholeheartedly. And by the way, this is happening in the UAE. This is happening all over the Gulf regions, all over the Middle East. This is happening all across Israel. This is happening by certain countries in South America who are literally, adding it to their national stockpiles, most specifically Bitcoin. The passion for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in Asia is off the charts. I mean, look at what Korea is doing right now. Look at what Hong Kong is doing right now. Look at how Vietnam is opening up right now. And so this is happening across the board. And as I said before, it's here to stay, and it is going to modernize every aspect of our financial system. It's going to make it cheaper, faster, substantially more transparent, and a hell of a lot fairer to the end user who's traditionally, and I hate to use this word, gotten screwed by the big banks, including yours truly, who was probably the most debanked person in American history for doing absolutely nothing wrong.
Ash, let me get back to you. I don't know if you saw this, but earlier this week, CoreWeave got dinged. Their outlook wasn't that great, in part because of a delay in building, I believe, an AI, a data center. As someone putting these things in the ground, how difficult is it to get up and running an AI data center, and how long does it take?
The timelines to build a data center historically have been 2 to 3 years. People are trying to build them in 12 months today. And you have to rethink how you build these assets. Instead of stick building on site, maybe you skid the design and you bring it so a lot of it happens in a factory. You have the labor to support you on site in order to run double shifts. And so in building this speed, I think at Hut 8, what we're really grateful for is we used to build data centers for Bitcoin in less than 6 months. And so the infrastructure stack is more complicated, but we have this mentality and this ethos in the company to build quickly, to think about how to innovate around the deployment of these assets. And so the first question a lot of these companies had is, can you sign a contract? The next question, which we're starting to hear, is, can you build and can you build it on time with the customer? And are you overpromising to them? Or are you able to actually deliver to them the schedules that you've aligned with? The other element in these large mega projects is a relationship between the customer and the developer, and making sure that everyone works in lockstep to make sure that answers are given on time so you can move at the speed that you need. And so across the board, I think expectations need to be set with investors, between partners, and then you can deliver projects on time and under budget.
Asher, your company gets high remarks for, I don't know how else to put it, but not taking or signing crap deals. I mean, I imagine you're getting a lot of calls to work with you in some capacity. Why is that so important at a moment like this when the AI industry is going through the roof?
We've had deals that we've walked away from and we could have announced and I think would have done well for our stock performance short term. But we believe in the value of power long term. We believe in the scarcity of that power, and we've seen that come to reality. From 6 months ago to today, you see demand continue to rise. Right now, it's peak demand. Everyone needs these assets, especially at these timelines, and we're seeing the deals get better and better. And I think we are very open and honest with customers on what type of deals we're looking for, why we think those are fair deals, and we will hold to that. And we don't need to announce a deal for the sake of the deal. We're investing in long-term assets. These are 15-year contracts, and we want to make sure whatever we sign today that we're happy about 5, 10, and 15 years from today as well.
Eric, let me get back to you here. How do you think the crypto industry will look different after President Trump's latest term? Of course, your dad.
Yeah. Listen, Brian, I mean, I think you kind of parted the sea, right, when it came to crypto. You know, you had an administration in the past that was just anti-crypto, anti kind of progression of the financial industry, and they did everything they could to possibly stop it. My father's completely reversed course on that, and America's leading the way. What's happening is as America leads the way, as he parts the sea, everybody else is kind of following behind, right? So all the Asian countries, obviously all the Middle Eastern countries are all following behind. They're using America's framework as kind of the framework, you know, that will give crypto guide rails in all of their respective countries. And that allows everybody to embrace it in a way that has never happened before. It's kind of hard if America's sitting on the sidelines poo-pooing something for so many of these other smaller countries to embrace. Now they're fully embracing it because America is embracing it and America is leading the way. They want to follow us. You know, they've always wanted to follow us in just about everything we do. They're also following us in terms of this AI revolution. They're also following us in terms of, you know, so many of the kind of energy procurement things that we're working on, you know, as a country. And again, that's beautiful. So I think you're going to see the crypto industry massively change around the world. And I think it's going to be one of those things that's growing so quickly right now, you can't stop it. There's no one that's going to turn the ship at this point, and certainly not in a 3-year period of time, you know, when it only progresses even further. And this is the new standard. America's going to be very proud of it. America's going to lead the way in it. And I think Donald Trump has a very big role in that, because this was not happening 9 months ago under the last administration. In fact, the exact opposite was happening. Crypto companies were leaving the United States. They weren't fleeing to the United States.
Eric, of course, we're having this conversation a day after the government shutdown ended. And look, we could talk about who's right and who's wrong, whatever the case. You know, I've talked to a lot of CEOs here today, and they're frustrated. You know, they want to keep running their businesses and planning and driving corporate profits. Like, how do these shutdowns eventually end, or is this just something we're going to have to deal with?
Hey, I'm frustrated. But believe me, it affects me too. I'm frustrated. You had every single Republican voting to open up the government, and you had Democrats, because they have no platform. They've got no message, they've got no leadership, and they've lost horribly badly for the last 5-year period of time, doing anything they can to be absolute obstructionists. And it is sad. These are people's lives. This is the GDP of the United States of America. I walked through Charlotte Airport, 2 days ago, Brian, and it was a nightmare. I'm watching kids fall asleep on their mom's lap as they're sitting on a floor because the terminal's so busy from delayed flights and everything else. It's not right. It's not right that air traffic controllers can't get paid, people who work their butts off and provide a great service to this country. None of this is right. None of it's fun. And then I get to watch AOC out there, talking about how she would have kept it, closed indefinitely if it was up to her. And how dare Chuck Schumer actually have the gall to try and reopen, the greatest economy anywhere in the world. These are not serious people. They're not the Ashers of the world. They're not the me's of the world. These are not serious people. They don't have to live with the ramifications of what they do. They're just willing to obstruct Donald Trump at every single turn, and our country deserves a lot better than that. So I feel for those CEOs, and I'm one of them. I agree with them 100%. Let us do what we do best as entrepreneurs and capitalists in the United States of America, and no one stands a chance.
Eric, do you see yourself running for the presidency at some point?
Brian, it's a terrible profession. I can tell you that much. I've seen the best parts of it. I've seen the worst parts of it. I can tell you, I don't wish the worst parts on your worst enemy. We were the most attacked family in history. We were the most debanked family in history, never for doing anything wrong, just because they wanted to try and take us out. In fact, I just wrote a book about it called Under Siege, and that's what they did. They put us under siege. They put our nation under siege. I became the most subpoenaed person in American history, again, having never gotten a speeding ticket in my life, because they wanted to try and get to my father, and they want to try and take out our family and silence our family and gag our family. That's a long way of saying, I hope I probably never have to. If it was so bad, and I had the right voice at the time, and I understood the trials and tribulations of our nation, I think I certainly could. But again, I've seen the worst of it. I've certainly seen the beauty of it. You can do great things. You saw that with my father in Middle East peace. This is something the Democrats could have never done. This is something Joe Biden could have never done. So there's beautiful things that come out of it, but at the same time, it's a rough world, and you better have a family that's prepared, and you better have the fortitude to go in there and go to war every single day, as my father has done for the last 10 years.
Asher, let me get one more word to you before we wrap this conversation. For investors that are investing in your company, or for folks that want to put money to work in a Hut 8, 2026, what is your big initiative, and what does success look like?
Continue to build data centers, powered infrastructure, continue to support American Bitcoin and their growth on Bitcoin mining, continue to support all of our AI customers. You'll see us build generation around data center capacity, both of all kinds of compute, from AI compute to Bitcoin compute. And so Hut 8 is a company if you're long energy. American Bitcoin is a company if you're long Bitcoin.
Well, good luck on the road ahead. Eric Trump, Asher Ganu, good to see you guys again. I greatly appreciate you coming. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.